Part 5. Water.
Section A, the functions of water.
On a scale of things that are important to our survival, oxygen comes first, water is second.
That's true. It's impossible to survive more than a few days without water, but a person can survive for weeks without food. Your body weight is 50 to 75% water. Every cell in our bodies contains water, but unlike camels, our bodies can't store water.
An average adult needs 1 milliliter of water per calorie consumed. Infants require 1.5 milliliters per kilocalorie. An average adult who expends about 2,000 to 2,500 kilocalories per day would need about 2 to 2.5 liters of water. 5 to 6 cups of that water, 1.2 to 1.5 liters, should be from fluids, but the remainder may come from water that is found in food and something called metabolic water, which is the water you get when energy-yielding nutrients are broken down.
The amount of water you need on a day-to-day basis may vary due to environmental conditions and physical activity. People engaged in heavy physical activity at high altitudes require more water. Living and working in hot environments increases required water consumption, especially if accompanied by high humidity. And for women with newborns, breastfeeding also increases your need for water. Also, people who don't drink much water have an increased need for water.
Water is the main substance that makes up blood, lymph, and body secretions. Chemical reactions occur in water, and sometimes water acts as a catalyst. A catalyst speeds up chemical reactions or allows them to occur under otherwise impossible conditions.
Section B, water balance.
Normally, fluid intake and output should be in balance. A healthy person does not gain water weight from drinking excess water. If a person is dehydrated and then drinks a lot of water, it may appear like they gain weight, but they don't really. The body excretes what it does not need. Water balance is the balance between water consumption and water loss. In general terms, water balance equals intake minus output.
The amount of fluid in the body is tightly controlled because imbalances can be lethal. The body fights to retain balance by adjusting both intake and excretion as necessary. The hypothalamus is the brain center that controls the maintenance of water balance and regulates body temperature. It detects if the blood is too concentrated and therefore low in water.
Thirst is not a reliable indicator of when to drink water. If you're thirsty, then you're already low. As a minimum, the body must excrete about 500 milliliters of water daily as urine to get rid of metabolic waste products. Water is also lost from the lungs as vapor and from the skin as sweat, and there's also some lost in the feces. To keep an appropriate water level, 6 to 8 glasses of water per day is recommended as a minimum.
Water balance maintains blood volume. Blood volume affects blood pressure. If blood volume falls, then blood pressure is reduced as well.
Now that we know what water balance is, let's look at what happens when our water balance is low.
Dehydration is an excess loss of water. It develops through either lack of water intake and/or excess water loss. You can check the level of hydration by noting the color and volume of urine. The lighter the color, the better hydrated you are. However, if you are taking vitamin B or C supplements, you may note a slight darkening of your urine as the excess vitamins are excreted. Dark yellow, odorous urine generally indicates that fluid consumption should be increased. You should produce clear urine at least 5 times a day. If your urine is dark, you need to drink more water.
Dehydration in a hot environment may lead to heat exhaustion and eventually to a life-threatening condition called heat stroke. People at greatest risk for heat stroke are the elderly because their bodies don't regulate fluid well, the chronically ill because they may have disrupted fluid balance, low fluid intake, excess fluid excretion, kidney problems, or diuretic medication, and lastly, alcoholics because they're consuming alcohol, which is a diuretic.
Heat stroke is more deadly than any foreign enemy. Seriously, some experts believe heat exhaustion should be renamed severe dehydration because that's really what it is. Symptoms are flu-like and include severe thirst, fatigue, headache, nausea, vomiting, and sometimes diarrhea. There may be a slight increase in body temperature as well.
A water loss of more than 6 or 7% of body weight is life-threatening. Infants become dehydrated most quickly because their bodies contain a higher proportion of water. When infants have diarrhea, fever, vomiting, or other conditions which cause water loss, it can pose a serious problem that may require intravenous fluids to correct.
That's water for you. What's next?